The offense needs him. He's a great 1-2 punch with Latavius Murray, and to be honest with you, he's a key part of the passing game.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you, Kyle. If the Saints somehow trade Alvin Kamara, do they have a chance to even have enough firepower to go point for point with the New England Patriots? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
that's an interesting question. And I think the biggest problem is Drew Brees' age, right? Listen, I mean, we're talking about Tampa with Brady being old and Drew Brees in much the same fashion being aged as well. I think both those quarterbacks are going to be a fraction of themselves by the end of the year, and it's going to be the backfield support and the defense that makes the difference. And listen, say what you will about the Saints corner Latimer, who's awesome at his job, but I don't think they have enough defense to rescue Drew Brees if he starts to fall off, whereas Brady has that Tampa defense. Listen, I think you're going to get a lot more good stories about that Tampa defense. Why? Because they won't be stuck with crummy field position like they were last year. Okay, let's be clear about that 100%. And by the way, side note, Brady's got a new toy in his backfield to support him. Perhaps you've heard about that.
Oh, you know what, Kyle? You made a perfect segue because guess what? When one team in the division trades a running back, another one acquires one. Like I said, Kyle's the pick and roll guy. That time, Kyle rolled, I hit him to the basket, and slam dunk. Because that's what Tampa fans are doing right now because they went out and acquired Leonard Fournette on a 1-year, $3.5 million incentive-laden contract. The one thing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and everybody in the NFC South, including my Atlanta Falcons, were saying, you know what? As long as they can't run the ball, we can figure out how to stop the pass. Now the Buccaneers went out and got a 1,000-yard rusher, Leonard Fournette, who's playing for a contract. It looks like the Buccaneers are trying to do something here, Kyle. What does Leonard Fournette bring to the Buccaneers offense?
Golly, explosiveness, an actual somebody who can attack between the tackles and do something that basically fewer backs in the NFL can do nowadays. Everybody's seems to be think it's the money and being a running back is being this scat combination. I can catch passes and dodge the outside running backs. Which, hey, listen, there's plenty of reason to believe that's successful. It is in a lot of places. You heard of this guy Tyreek Hill? He's pretty good at it. Maybe Dalvin Cook is somebody who can convince you. I don't know, but at the end of the day, when it comes to true the tackles guy, they're getting fewer and far between. Leonard Fournette represents that type. And, of course, the problem is his issue not being able to stay on the field in Jacksonville. Fair criticism. But now that they made the draft that they did, they have a rookie running back that I think could have done the job better than people were giving credit, at least, especially if you're supporting Brady and that receiver core. Now they're putting Fournette in a position like we talked about on Monday there, Danny, where if Fournette is in a committee, that's a beautiful thing. What it does for them, what he brings there is you get Fournette in a committee situation where he could stay healthy, just like we were talking about with Fred Taylor splitting time with Maurice Jones-Drew, full circle back in Jacksonville in the day.
What this does, in my opinion, is listen, as a fan of the NFC South, okay, not the NFC South, a fan of the Atlanta Falcons, okay, I have no issue with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but what it does is it gives Tom Brady a play action option.
Yeah.
Remember, Ronald Jones was considered the weak link of the offense, and nothing against Ronald Jones. But you added 1,000-yard rusher in Leonard Fournette, and you know what the part people forget, Kyle? Leonard Fournette caught 76 passes last year.
I don't know. A lot of people forget that he was a 1,000-yard rusher as a rookie. Johnson. I'll throw that.
Yeah, and guess what? When it comes down to it, you look at how the roster is put together. The last time Leonard Fournette ran for 1,000 yards with over 5 touchdowns, his team was almost in the Super Bowl. No, that's actually Carolina blue, and there's nothing with the Panthers on this shirt, Jonathan.
I don't know. It looks pretty Panthery, homie. I wasn't going to say nothing.
It looks pretty Panthery, homie. Manny Robinson, the Saints win the division. The Bucs are a wild card team. Listen, I don't disagree with that, but what it does is the thing is now is you can't just guard wide receivers because Tampa could run the ball. We got offensive linemen in the first round of the draft. They're going to run that ball now. We got Leonard Fournette and you got Ronald Jones, who's a good pass catcher. We already know about the receivers and the tight ends. But Brady now has a play action option. Brady is dangerous in the play action. Now you give Tom Brady more weapons. Tampa's going all in. This is a 1-year championship job, all right? Because you don't know if Brady's going to play next season anyway. It's the perfect move at the perfect time. will this put the Bucks over the division right now? I'll be honest with you, Kyle. This might be the move to put them ahead of the Saints, in my opinion. What about yours?
I don't mind you for thinking so, Danny Thompson. I mean, after all, there's a lot of there on paper that matches. But there's another piece that I can't quite get past.
Okay.
There were 2 times, and I forget the exact number, but I'll just say 20 points. There were 2 times that the Patriots defense failed to hold that. It's more than 2. How many losses they have in regular season? Was it 2 or 3? I forget now.
The Patriots or the Saints?
The Patriots.
Last year?
Yeah.
11-5 last year.
11-5. Okay. There were 5 times. I think they were 3 of those 5 times at least, where the Patriots defense couldn't hold the opponents, and they said, "Hey, offense, come bail us out." Now, granted, the reason why I'm not counting one of those 5 is very simple, my friend. It was one Patrick Mahomes. Okay, I can see that. But the few times that the defense, including, by the way, against the Titans, our dude Cortland might be aboard here in this part. Thomas Edward Bieber Brady was unable to do the job and help the defense out.
Okay.
Now, that defense is great in Tampa. I don't know that Tom Brady's throwing up 40-something points unless he gets a lot of opportunities to do so by that defense getting turnovers. He's not the same guy. People got to remember that. If the Tampa offense averages more than 30 a game, I'll be incredibly happy. If they do better than that, I'd be surprised.
I can see over 30 points a game because you got to think the only team that plays defense in the division is New Orleans. Okay, to be honest with you, Atlanta's secondary is Atlanta's secondary. In that we know what Atlanta's secondary has been for the last few years. The last time the Falcons had a defense that was in the top 15 or higher, or anywhere, they made the Super Bowl. Ever since then, it's been in the bottom. It's been in the bottom part of the league, and also one of the worst pass defenses. Tampa has one of the worst pass defenses, but Brady's not throwing to them. Carolina, they're starting 7 or 8 new guys on defense in a year where you don't really have much to unity and quality time. They get KK Short back, but he's only one player on defense. They're bringing a new defensive scheme, a 3-4 set, and their secondary isn't very good. They have weapons. If they don't score 30 points a game, I'd be highly disappointed. This should be the highest scoring offense in the league this year. It should be.
Oh, no.
Listen.
I'm not trying to be a hater. Betting Brady is ridiculous. And listen, Rodney, I know he's dink and dunk Tom. That kind of speaks to my point, right? If you're doing a bunch of dinks and dunks, you're not scoring quickly, like let's say an explosive Chiefs offense would do.
But the difference is, though, when has Brady ever had weapons? The last time Brady had weapons, he threw 50 touchdowns in a year?
And when you're giving him 30s.
Huh?
And he was in his 30s.
What I'm saying is, but the last time Brady had an elite receiver, he threw 50 touchdowns, and Randy Moss should have been the MVP that year. This time around, listen, Randy, that was arguably one of the most dominant seasons by any player offensively since Jerry Rice when he was the MVP at wide receiver. What I'm saying is, he has not 1 but 2 All-Pro wide receivers on both sides of the field. Now, I know Jameis interception throwing Winston is not there anymore, tossing picks. But what I'm saying is Brady will be able to get those balls in locations, and Chris Godwin can move. And Mike Evans, all you got to do is throw it at Mike Evans. And the other part is you got Gronk going down the center of the field. The one thing with the division, the division has 3 of the best actually cover linebackers in the league. In the entire NFL, Demario Davis in New Orleans, Deion Jones in Atlanta, Shaq Thompson for Carolina. 3 of the best cover linebackers in the league. The problem is they can cover Gronk, who's going to be in the red zone. But who's going to cover Cameron Brate when they go 2 tight ends? You're going to put a second linebacker on him? Okay, so you got to think the safeties in the division. There's nothing against Malcolm Jenkins in New Orleans, but there's a reason why Philadelphia didn't bring him back. All right. Atlanta's Keanu Neal, for as good as he is, he's an injury risk. He's missed the last 2 full seasons with injuries. So you don't know what you have back there. And then at the same time, Carolina, no offense to Trey Boston, but he's been better tackling folks than covering people. The good news is Eric Reid's nowhere to be found. Well, breaking news in the NBA: the Raptors saved their season by winning a buzzer beater. We'll get to the NBA in a few minutes. All right, back to football. When you have to guard two tight ends, it's hard to guard in a division like the South. They have a lot of targets. Gronk's 200 pounds. Rodney,
no, he's not.
He's 205. Same thing. All right. So when we talk about size around the NFL, and we talk about size and also playmaking ability, let's talk about the Seattle Seahawks. Once again, Josh Gordon has been reinstated, signed, or whatever this time around. It seems like Josh Gordon is the human version of a video game of Contra. He always has unlimited lives, and he's still playing. Josh Gordon has been reinstated, he's been suspended, reinstated, and brought back more times than Dennis Rodman with the Chicago Bulls. He's re-signed with the Seattle Seahawks. But remember, Josh Gordon has been suspended every single time for marijuana and drugs, which are, guess what? They're legal now. All right, what's up, Cortland? Listen, Cortland, send me a message because when we do Mount Rushmore, if you want in, let us know. All right.
Boy, here it comes.
Hey, listen, he's got to send me a message and we'll send him up. All right. So when it comes down to it, Josh Gordon is now, Kyle, a slot receiver.
Yep.
You have Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and now Josh Gordon in the slot. What does this move do for the Seahawks and your guy, Russell Wilson, as far as being a dangerous threat, not only to your 49ers, but to the Saints, to the Buccaneers, and the rest of the NFC?
How do we say the goddamn league? How about that, Chief? Listen, if you give Rusty Carrington Wilson weapons, he will go about slashing you to pieces with them. Okay? Listen, not for nothing, too. I'm fairly certain Sierra wants him to have better legs going on. I mean, I'm not prepared to say that Russell Wilson's the best QB in the NFL, Bobby Blackjack, but I will tell you he is definitely the most underrated. Listen, I'll call myself out. When he was young, I called him overrated. Then he got better. Then he developed his skills. And then people started thinking that Lamar Jackson was better than him, which I thoroughly quashed in an article on the 3-point conversion. Thank you very much. But
check it out.
Thank you, sir. But that all being said, y'all can't forget about Russell Wilson, because say what you will about Patrick Mahomes, the defending Super Bowl champion quarterback. I mean, listen, I'm trying to tell you, he may not be as famous, but guess what? Neither was Thomas Edward Brady, folks. Think about this, okay? You don't have to be the famous one to be talented. Recognize that, Rodney. You're talented at trolling. You aren't the famous one here. All there is to it.
No, he's actually the Carolina Panthers are trolling. He's 5-11. All right. Here's a question, Kyle. I want to make a comparison here. Is Russell Wilson the best all-around quarterback in football? All around.
That's a very interesting question. I don't think he has the cannon of an arm. If you're going to sacrifice, that would be air quotes sacrifice. I'm not saying the dude can't throw long. I'm just saying if he were in a contest, if the contest was a distance throw, like what the Pro Bowl should do with the quarterback competition, that's right, I said it. He would not win that. He will win accuracy competitions. He'll be in the conversation when it comes to obstacle course competitions where quarterbacks have to throw on the run. Is he the best overall?
All around. Not overall, all around.
Excuse me. I'm using those terms interchangeably, and I shouldn't. Right. I'm going to say yes. He is the right combination of touch, arm, and moves. The one thing I think Lamar Jackson missing, and he will fix it, maybe even this season, is touch. I could argue the same thing with Patrick Mahomes, but it would be a tougher argument, I would say.
I think to the point, I think Russell Wilson is the best. Russell Wilson is the best all-around quarterback in football. Like you mentioned before, it's not like he has the cannon of the arm, but it's above average. Definitely. He doesn't have Lamar Jackson's speed or his ability to move out the pocket, but he is above average. When it comes to awareness, listen, the only quarterback that might be smarter than him on the field, could be Aaron Rodgers because Rodgers doesn't throw interceptions. Rodgers thrown Aaron Rodgers has thrown 6 interceptions in the last 2 full seasons. So when it comes to not turning the ball over, the only other person that does better than Russell Wilson is Aaron Rodgers. But when you look at the combination and put everything in the pot, the quarterback you're looking at the most is Russell Wilson. You're right. Lamar Jackson has almost everything you want, but the touch is the other one thing. But the other part is his awareness as in the pockets is my other concern.
He'll fix it.
And that's something that's got to be fixed. When it comes to Pat Mahomes, it's just he doesn't have the mobility of Russell Wilson, but he has the arm.
You see the comment there by Bobby Blackshack. Wilson wins with less around him. This sounds awfully familiar, doesn't it, Danny Thompson?
Yeah, it sounds very Ram-like.
Ram-like?
Aren't you wearing a Rams jersey, sir?
I am, but it's Marshall Faulk. Don't hate.
I'm just saying, it's very Ram-like. Correct. Speaking of the Rams, well, the Rams didn't get Leonard Fournette, and they still have Jared Goff. In other news around the league,
wow.
In other news, as we get,
you son of a.
Well, yes. In other news, another Lions running back is hurt. DeAndre Swift once again is hurt, and guess what? I don't know what it is about the Detroit Lions and injury-prone running backs. Seriously. Kyle, I don't. Was it the curse of Barry Sanders? This team can't find a healthy running back. Kevin Jones injured. Kevin Smith from UCF injured. Kerryon Johnson injured. Every time the Lions get a running back, it seems to be an injury bug. This is horrible. DeAndre Swift, the running back from Georgia, talented rookie, is now injured again. Potentially could miss time to start the season. Kerryon Johnson had a history of injuries last year. Kyle, how long does Matt Patricia have left on this job?
I don't even really feel like it's Matt Patricia's fault. Can we be honest? Like, you're in a division stretch where you're playing Aaron Rodgers twice a year and arguably the best roster on every position possibly except for quarterback in the Vikings. And, well, the Bears are the Bears. Sorry, Contra, facts are facts. But, you can't blame Matt Patricia for this, man. You mentioned Kerryon Johnson and all the hurt running backs. I mean, hey, how do you think Joique Bell had such a successful career?
I forgot. Joique Bell, 1 season. Jeez. They have more one-hit wonders than anybody I know in the NFL.
More one-hit wonders than 80s musical artists.
Exactly. Speaking of one hits, we have time for a one-hit commercial from our good friends at Central Florida Zoo. So we'll be right back with Beyond the Buzz in about 30 seconds here on I-95 Zingo TV and Facebook Live. Big shout out to our good friends at the Central Florida Animal Reserve, because guess what? They're the only groups that get tigers done correctly.
Wow, that's a whole bunch of teams you just did. You understand that, right?
Okay,
Suddenly you don't like LSU either? What's up?
Listen, the Detroit Tigers.
Did I comment on Detroit? I got what you were going with Detroit, but I don't care about it.
Okay. The LSU Tigers lost their top receiver, Jamar Chase. He declared for the NFL draft. I'm not sure how good LSU is going to be. There's that team in South Carolina. Something tells me that they're going to be – listen, something tells me this is going to be an epic fail in Clemson this year. Something tells me there's no way Clemson's lucky enough to win this many times in a row. I don't care what Dabo's recruiting out there. So what other Tigers am I disrespecting? Not Tony the Tiger.
You leave Tony out of this, you son of a.
Because guess what? It's college football time, and it's great. All right, so.
Nice. What a dunk, Danny Thompson. I like this.
Listen, college football's kicking off this weekend. I know. Listen, the marquee matchup this weekend is our good friends at BYU taking on Navy on Labor Day night. This is exactly what we all wanted to see on Labor Day night. BYU's coming from out west to take on Navy.
Listen,
Kyle, I'm gonna let you lead this.
Look me in the face, Danny Thompson, and try and pretend that you are not going to watch that game.
It's Labor Day Monday night. I'll be on Beyond the Buzzer. I don't know about you, but I'll be on Beyond the Buzzer on Labor Day Monday night.
Man, that game will still be on when we done. You know better.
We got NBA playoffs. All right. So speaking of the NBA playoffs, the NBA playoffs are going on right now because listen, college football is great and all, but here's the thing. The major conferences don't start till after Labor Day weekend. So we'll do a conference preview and we'll let Kyle fill you in on all the different conferences. We'll go week by week because guess what? None of these conferences started on time, which gives us time to go week by week with this. All right. What you want to know about the college football season real quick is a lot of the guys that you expected especially this watch if you're a fan of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Carolina Panthers, New York Giants, because you're picking low in the NFL draft, half those guys will be playing anyway, so it ain't much to watch in college football this year. All right, let's transition to the good old NBA. All right, yes, we talked about the bubble. Yay! But let's really talk about the biggest news of the day. And I don't mean the fact of, well, I'm not okay. Before I get into that, not the big news of the day. Well, let's do it. The Brooklyn Nets shocked the entire NBA world this morning by hiring a head coach. Well, it wasn't the coach everybody all expected. Soon to be Hall of Fame point guard Steve Nash from the Phoenix Suns and former player development coach for the Golden State Warriors was hired today as the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets, and he signed a 4-year deal today. The interim head coach, which was Jacque Vaughn, who took over for Kenny Atkinson, who was fired, his team went 5-3 in the bubble and proceeded to get bubbled and bounced out of the playoffs because they shouldn't have been there in the first place, is now going to be the highest paid assistant head coach in the entire NBA. All right. Kyle, I know my take on Steve Nash and why in this fit. Kyle, when you saw Steve Nash as the Nets head coach, what was your original thoughts?
I had two things going on in my head at once, to be honest with you. I don't know what to make of it, to be honest. And granted, part of it is my issue is despite, listen, basketball is still my third language. We keep reminding you people who listen to us here at Beyond the Buzzer. Even though I nailed the 2 7-game series that did happen out west and got them both correct while predicting they go 7 games, thank you very much.
You're now second language, sir. Second language, not third language. You've now graduated to second language, sir.
Well, what's third now? Like, are you thinking I'm better at the NBA than college football? I can't say that yet.
Football's football. You've surpassed bass fishing and baseball. But continue.
Anyways, so I like the angle of the player development piece. And listen, if you're going to need anybody to succeed in Brooklyn right now, it's somebody who's skilled in player development. I'll lead with the positive. That's why I like it. What scares me about it is, didn't we already do this Hall of Fame point guard thing before in the past? Like, I'm going to need a little bit of education. Like, you think it's a horrible fit? Cortland's jumping in on the bandwagon. That's a horrible fit. I don't understand. Listen, the bandwagon isn't always right. People want to try and tell me the NFC South is the toughest division in the NFL, and I'm trying to tell people to put their damn crack pipes down. Okay, what is up with this being a bad hire beyond the past specter of it's obviously a risk because he's a first-time head coach. Beyond that, I don't know what it is. Somebody help me.
All right, I'll let Bobby. Bobby is our resident. Besides being our producer, he's a regular Brooklyn Nets fan, and of course, if you see the bottom scroll, yes, he's the one that puts that down there. Bobby, your thoughts on Steve Nash before I jump into it?
I think it's pretty cool. I think the last time the NBA did this was Steve Kerr going to Golden State, correct? A guard in the NBA who didn't have any head coaching experience taking over a now team.
I mean, you can make that comparison. That's one of the comparisons I do have. But Bobby, you're a Nets fan. I mean, you mean when your hat's off and you put your hat on, you're a Nets fan. How excited are you for Steve Nash as a Nets fan?
I read about it all morning, eating my breakfast after I woke up and saw the news. I'm pretty excited about it. I don't think it'll be a pushover, right? With the big two, I think he gets their. I think he'll command their respect, and having Jacques Vaughn coming back for the younger guys, I think it's a good fit all around.
I don't know if Kyrie respects anybody, but if he's going to, it would be Steve Nash. That's a good point, Bobby.
All right. So, in this world, in this show of tag team wrestling, Kyle tag Bobby. Bobby's out tagging me. Here's the reason why this is a good fit, and I'm going to go over the entire spectrum of all.
So you think it's a good fit? I thought you thought it was bad. My bad.
No, I think it's an outstanding fit, and I'm going to hit every angle of this. All right. Let's start at the beginning. It's very rare in the NBA that you get. We've seen this happen a lot. Jason Kidd is a Hall of Fame player, became a head coach not too long after he played. All right. We had Derek Fisher, won multiple championships with the LA Lakers, turned into a head coach for the New York Knicks. We've seen Avery Johnson with the same type of trajectory. So why is Steve Nash a good hire for the Brooklyn Nets? Like I mentioned before in the very first part, Steve Nash spent 5 years as a player development coach and development specialist for the Golden State Warriors. Over the previous 5 years, there was one player he worked with over that 5-year period. His name is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant said on multiple occasions that Steve Nash was one of the reasons why he went to Golden State, because he was part of the player development team. He did it part-time, but he was there a lot. Not just a guy scouting. He was on the court working with players, shooting with players. He also credits him for changing his free throw shot motion, helping out with his follow through on his shot, and also ways to be able to become a better shooter. Kevin Durant's one of the best shooters in the league anyway, but why not get great lessons from a guy like Steve Nash? Secondly, he worked with the Warriors. His first year, he was part of the 73-9 Warriors team that should have won the championship that year. Well, technically they shouldn't have, but they should have won the championship, but got stopped by LeBron James in Game 7. Different story, different day. Well, that's another story for another time. Nash was also there throughout the years of Kevin Durant. He has been signed off on by Steph Curry and the entire Klay Thompson, the entire Warriors staff, and everything else. But remember, guys like Quentin Richardson, Amari Stoudemire, Steven Jackson, guys that he's played with in the past, they've all signed off for him saying, this guy's going to be a great coach. Where does Steve Nash come from in all this? Why is he the head coaching guy? Sean Marks has been chasing Steve Nash along with the Brooklyn organization for the last 2 to 3 years. Nash wanted to wait till his kids were older. That way he can take on a coaching job. He's always wanted to coach. He even said today he's always wanted to coach, but kept the coaching itch up because of the kids. Here's what it is. You want to see his kids grow up. Okay. The thing is, you have 2 superstars on your team. When you have a $170 million player that you're bringing in that is a franchise-changing player, a altering player in Kevin Durant, yes, he's coming off the Achilles injury, but he says, I want him as the head coach, you already have his buy-in. You already have Kevin Durant's buy-in, okay? Players respect Steve Nash. So what about Kyrie Irving? Kyrie Irving's this, Kyrie Irving's that, Kyrie Irving's coach killer, Kyrie. Okay, here's the thing with Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving and Steve Nash have a mutual respect for one another. It's already been said. Notified. If you ask Kyrie Irving about Steve Nash, it's nothing but respect. This is before Nash even took the job. Steve Nash said in the presser today that he respects Kyrie Irving, loves his game, and cannot wait to be able to work with Kyrie to get him to where he needs to be in this offense. AKA, I'm about to hand this kid the keys, and we're about to have fun with this. If anybody knows how to run a fun offense, be part of a fun offense, it's Steve Nash. Look what Steve Nash did in Phoenix. He ran Mike D'Antoni's offense, but he was really the coach of the floor. D'Antoni just handed the ball and told him to go. I can see Brooklyn running up and down. Hey, Precious. All right. But I can see Steve Nash running up and down the court, telling Kyrie to do what he needs to do. Listen, for every person who says that this is a different type of hire, it's not that type of hire. And the thing is, well, he had no coaching experience. He didn't have this. He didn't have that. Jason Kidd didn't have it either. Well, why is Jason Kidd not a head coach in the NBA? Remember, Brooklyn was the one that gave Jason Kidd his first shot.
Yep.
But Jason Kidd tried to overthrow. No, yes, I think Steve Nash can get to the Kyrie. Think about this.
Well, that's the deciding factor, isn't it?
Well, it's like this. It's a game of basketball. Players respect OGs who put in work. Steve Nash is a 2-time MVP. He's a Hall of Famer. Can he get to the Kyrie? Yeah, he can. Because guess what? Steve Nash is a player. Players can relate to one another. That's why a lot of times players can relate. And think about this. Some of the most successful players and coaches in the league were former point guards. Point guards can get point guards to be better point guards.
I loved Avery Johnson as a coach, by the way.
Yeah, and the thing was, I don't know why he never got a third chance in the NBA. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, how come certain head coaches didn't get the job? Let's start with Tyronn Lue. Listen, I don't know if Tyronn Lue wanted this type of a job. He's already coached Kyrie Irving once before in Cleveland. They have a solid relationship because Kyrie would have wanted him there. But maybe it wasn't the right fit. Just because Tyronn Lue has a championship, been to the finals 3 times, doesn't make him a fit for every team. And besides, I think he gets more money and more things in Philadelphia than he goes anywhere else. Well, what about Nate McMillan? Nate McMillan hasn't even gotten to the conference finals. I don't think from my memory, without me going to the top of the head, I don't think Nate McMillan's even won a playoff series. For expectations of Brooklyn, playoffs is not the expectation. It is holding a trophy next June, July, August, whenever the finals are next year. The goal is a championship in year 1. Nate McMillan, as we've watched the last 4 years in Indiana, has been swept 3 of the last 4 years in the first round. Okay? So we will put this in layman's terms. In the last 4 years, he's won 3 playoff games, and that happened in 1 series. That's it. Okay? Nate McMillan got Indiana exactly where he is. And I'll be honest with you, Nate McMillan would not have been a good fit there. I think Nate McMillan's a great fit in New Orleans, a team that's young, that has talent, that he can mold into a consistent playoff team. Nate McMillan would be set to fail if he went to Brooklyn. Okay, what about Mark Jackson? Well, listen, whether Mark Jackson wants a job in the NBA or not, there's plenty of reasons why Mark Jackson does not have a job in the NBA right now. I don't have enough time on this show and this process to even go over the reasons why Mark Jackson is not a head coach in the NBA. And it's not because he can't coach. Remember, he got the Warriors to a 50-win season before he was shown the door. There's a whole bunch of stuff off the court. I don't have time for all that. I don't have time for all that in one conversation. Guys like Ime Udoka, great. He's a great player development coach. Ime Udoka is part of the Greg Popovich tree, also is one of the lead assistants in Philadelphia. Why doesn't he have a job? Well, he's not ready to coach that type of job, and I don't think it's fair to him for his first job to get Brooklyn. Well, what about a guy like, I don't know, Sam Cassell? Sam Cassell's been an assistant in LA, player development coach for the Clippers. Great guy. Listen, I don't see why he can't be a head coach. He should be. But he did not have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving's sign off. You're going to bring a brand new coach in that has no knowledge of either one of the two? It's not going to work. Finally, Jason Kidd, I mentioned before. Jason Kidd was in Brooklyn one time before. He tried to overthrow the government and got shown the door. He tried to pull a coup and tried to become, as a head coach, a GM at the same time. They got him right out of there. He got a job in Milwaukee. Giannis loved him. But at the time, the second star player, Jabari Parker, they didn't get along as neither did some of the players on the team. Adios.
Bah.
Kid hadn't seen a job since. David Fitzdale, he got a raw deal in Memphis. He went to New York, and he went to die. Sit this one out, David. This ain't the job you want anyway. You didn't do well in the Bright Lights in New York the first time. You think going down to Brooklyn's going to make things better? I don't care if you coach other guys. You got to work your way back up. No, I don't want to see Alvin Gentry behind the other sideline again. Just take some time away. Mike Brown, ask the Lakers fans what they think of Mike Brown.
That ain't fair, though. Like, Larry Brown would have trouble doing that.
Listen, ask anybody on that Lakers team would they want Mike Brown back.
Man,
that's all I have to say.
That situation was rough. That's all I'm telling you.
Juwan Howard, Jerry Stackhouse, they're college guys right now. Yep. Juwan Howard doesn't want to deal with the NBA's moving and shaking and those things. No, he doesn't want to deal with that. And Jerry Stackhouse could have had an NBA job last year, but guess what? He'd rather be in college coaching at Vanderbilt because you don't want that type of pressure to not say he couldn't do it, but you don't want that to be your first job, be all that pressure. Speaking of pressure and speaking of, of having to deal with things.
Well, before you jump out, Danny Thompson, because I see you setting up a segue, I got one very important question, and I know you don't got a lot of time, so I'll say it quick.
Nope.
in the case of Kyrie Irving, you mentioned all the stuff about Nash. Basically, the reason why I think he's good for the team, player development, all that. And there are people saying he can't reach Kyrie possibly, and that's cool. But let me think this way. If the Brooklyn Nets organization, Danny Thompson, and Steve bleeping Nash can't reach Kyrie as a former two-time MVP, etc., is that more an indictment on Kyrie than Steve Nash possibly?
Well, that's actually a good question. Is that an indictment on Kyrie at this point? It has to be. It's like in relationships. People say relationships. If it keeps failing over and over again, do the same things. Is it the person or is it you? If it happens, or
is it you?
Like I said, is the situation or yourself? If somehow you get a Hall of Fame head coach, the guy that your tag team, your Batman is saying, this is our guy. This is the guy who's going to help us get a championship, and you can't figure this out. Hey, listen, it might be one of those situations where, hey, listen, it's not going to be a fit. It is what it is. I said the Boston situation was a little different because Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and the kids, Marcus Smart, Terry Rozier, they showed out that year Kyrie was hurt. And they were literally one quarter away from the finals without Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving comes back and wants to be the leader of the team, but the problem was the kids already became leaders. They did it without him. Gordon Hayward is not an alpha. Gordon Hayward's like, okay, listen, let me just get back. Let me get my $33 million. I'll get my 16, 5, and 5, and I'm good. I don't have to be a star. But when Kyrie couldn't figure that he couldn't be the guy because the other ones were already there, they needed a culture change. Why did he leave Cleveland? Because he got out before LeBron James wanted out. That's what it was. He wanted out before LeBron left because we all know what happens when LeBron James leaves the team. Just know Lakers fans, if LeBron leaves, the mountain will be falling. All right. Speaking of mountains, it's time for our favorite part of the show, Kyle. Yes, it's time for good old Mount Rushmore.
By the way, that was the Mount Rushmore of segues up in that beat.
The Mount Rushmore of motor oil. No, Bobby, tonight is not about motor oil. What you've never, I listen, if it is, I guess Penske, I don't know. All right, so what Mount Rushmore?
How dark my beer is as I'm sporting my Black is Beautiful tonight.
Big fan of our good friends of Black is Beautiful. I'm going to try to find some over the Labor Day weekend.
Hey, all right. Hey, Bowegian's Brewery, fool. Second eye.
I gotta find it, post it, and then drink it all at the same time. I'm not even a beer guy.
Craft brew, baby. It's local. I'm saying.
Hey, listen, I gotta find it. It is what it is. All right. So those who've never seen Mount Rushmore, this is the time of the show where Kyle and I have to have a chance, a little bit of fun. So those who've never been by Mount Rushmore, shame on you. Well, it is what it is. You drive by Mount Rushmore. There's four presidents on there. So Kyle and I'll go over a topic every week and put our top 4 on top of the Mount Rushmore mountain. The best part about it is Kyle has no idea what the topic is until I tell him. Hence the suspense.
That's right.
All right, Kyle. Listen, it's Labor Day weekend, right?
Yes.
Football's on.
It is.
You gotta be grilling out. You got to be eating something. But, Kyle, we've already done grilled foods before.
We have.
But 2 days ago was a good friend of ours, LeBron James says best, it was Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday! Yes.
But tonight's Mount Rushmore isn't about tacos, Kyle. Tonight's Mount Rushmore is, what is your Mount Rushmore of Mexican foods and dishes?
Nice. This is good. Okay.
So and the reason why I asked Kyle this is because Kyle and I one night we met up at one of our favorite taco places over in Lake Mary. So we caught up. That's how we got reintroduced after a long time of seeing each other, and we exchanged times and we saw tacos. So Kyle had Mexican food. Kyle, tonight's topic is what are your Mount Rushmore of Mexican foods and dishes? I'm gonna let you go first, sir. Take it away.
So, first of all, let's get clear. When he's saying Mexican food, he's probably more speaking Tex-Mex style stuff, right? So I don't want to understand that he's not authentic Mexican. Okay?
No, listen, Kyle. Listen, we can go Tex-Mex, original Mex.
No, it's all. I don't take a plot. I'm just saying that Tex-Mex is in the game. You're on the page with me, dog.
Okay, go ahead.
First of all, let's get it off the bat. If I can't have a burrito in front of me that I can pick up and use to break the damn window, you're doing it wrong. Shouts to my guys over at Tijuana Flat who make my Taco Tuesday great week by week. I'm just throwing that out there. Heck, even when I was losing weight, the vegetarian stuff where I'm having a bean burrito changed my life. Seriously, I cut weight, guys. It was great. Next up, and essential to everything. I mentioned burritos off the top because that's me, but we all know that any Mexican place can be judged very simply, whether it's a fancy place or not. A Mexican place that brings out that salsa. If the salsa ain't worth it, you're out the door. If the salsa don't fit, you got to quit. Okay? I know that was Johnny Cochran. I changed it. Get behind me on this one, Danny Thompson. You know I'm right. Anyway,
Okay.
by the way, cilantro, bitches. Cilantro. Anyways, so Danny Thompson was not ready for the cilantro stuff. Anyways,
Mic drop. But continue.
So salsa definitely got to be on the list. I'll accept queso as well as kind of a side-by-side, but we all know that all you did was throw a bunch of cheese and some peppers and melted it and dip chips in it. Who can screw that up, okay? Anyways, next on the list, listen, you got burritos. I know it's kind of pedestrian, but I feel like if it's not there, I'm doing it disservice. Tacos, folks. Listen, if I get a hard shell taco that doesn't crunch the right way, I feel let down. If I get a soft shell taco that's just a small burrito, you did something wrong. All right? I want that flavor bursting. It doesn't have to be super caliente, but I got to know what flavor is, okay? You don't need to come in here doing like what a lot of people think stereotypically white people do with their food, which I still don't understand that. We'll have to talk about that off air sometime. Has anyone ever had Italian food, for Christ's sake? And lastly, this is a hard one because there's a lot of things I could fill in here. You could go quesadilla. You could go flauta. Do you even know what a flauta is? Do you even eat, son? No. I'm going to go tostada for the win, right? I even threw that little accent on there, tostada. Why? Listen, Kyle, it's just chips with a bunch of gunk on it. No. There's an art form to putting the right amount of meat, vegetable, sour cream, cheese, and jalapeno, whatever pepper you want. Listen, if you want to go habanero, that's your problem, okay? Listen, I got kids. I'm not trying to kill myself. What I'm trying to say is this. The tostada is an art form. It's not just a bunch of gunk on the top of something, okay? It's not like goulash. It's a stew that you put on chips. No. You got to have the right ratio. And when you do, and that chip crunches, and it doesn't make too big a mess, and you're in a good place, my shoulders drop. Just like that. I know I didn't touch desserts, but you said Mexican. I don't think tres leches cake applies here, but I just want the record to show that I mentioned that. Moving on, Danny Thompson.
Wow, that was a pretty darn impressive list, Kyle. All right, so let's see. Bobby, quick.
I'm pretty upset that Kyle stole my flautas.
Okay, well, Bobby, if that's on your mountain, you got to put on your mountain then.
All right, flautas, enchiladas, tortas, and chalupas.
Okay. See?
Mind you, I was very
Flautas got some love on this one tonight.
Hey man, flautas are underrated. Flautas are the Russell Wilson of Mexican food.
Ooh, that's a the Russell Wilson. Ooh, the Russell Wilson. Okay. All right. So let's start at the very top. All right, listen. You made it best. All right. Tacos are the team captain of this mountain, okay? You can't, but I need a street taco.
Sure.
More than a regular taco. I'm not talking no Taco Bell taco. We're not doing this. No. I'm talking a food truck on the side of the road street taco, all right?
Like we're talking style. Yeah, I got you.
Yes. Let me get the street taco, but tacos are going to be on the list. All right. Listen. Beside the taco, listen, you can't go wrong with a full-fledged burrito, all right? Pound it down. It's basically how can I put it? It's the Jerome Bettis of foods because it's stacked, it's powerful, and it runs right through you.
Hell yes, Danny Thompson.
Listen, you got to go a little flash and dash for the next one, so I got to go with tamales.
Sure.
All right. You can't go wrong with a good tamale in this. All right.
Yeah, you got me there. Tamales. I forgot tamales.
Listen, you
The only
can't.
reason I didn't put tamales on the list is too many people do it wrong.
Listen, I get you. I get it, Skip. But listen, if you're going to go with the last one, and this one, listen, this might cause a little controversy.
All
right, because I already went tamales, already went burritos, already went tacos. All right, those are the first three. All right, but for me, the last one, I'm gonna have to go with Kyle. I gotta go nachos. Listen,
Man.
I said it's controversial. It's controversial. All right.
You're not allowed to make a white people joke having flavorless food ever again if Nachos closes out.
Listen. Damn it, there's a difference, Kyle. Because first off, the damn food's gonna be seasoned, all right? Damn you and the 49ers. But continue as I continue, all right? Listen. Give me a good plate of nachos any day of the week. All right. Let me get the different types of your red sauce, your green verde sauce, all on one big plate of nachos. Throw me some beef. Hell, throw some chicken on there. Get some shredded pork. Throw a few beans on there. Listen, it is a party. I'm not a big guac guy. For you, if you love guacamole, grab some guac. Grab some sour cream. Give me some shredded cheese. And listen, give me a big bowl. And I'm chilling with nachos, but you're right. It can't be no weak nachos. It's got to be seasoned correctly. All right?
But I mean, you might as well just order a damn tostada at this point.
Damn that. We said dishes. Honorable mention on this list. Mole is honorable mention on this list. And if we're going to go dessert, not tres leches, you got to go flan.
See, I respect flan, but I'm not a flan person. It doesn't
listen
with me. I'm the problem.
Listen,
I'll admit it.
Listen,
I'm a Falcons fan. I'm the problem.
Oh, wow. Flan is underappreciated, okay? Flan is underappreciated. Flan is the Al Horford of dishes in the NBA because underappreciated. Okay,
listen, Al Horford. I'm gonna go rather than go Al Horford. Okay, I'll just make a cheesecake and be a better version of what he is at his position. It's okay.
Ooh, that's a rough one. Kyle, any shouts for you go tonight, sir? I can't fool with you tonight.
Hey, listen, I'm biased to the cheesecake maker. We don't have a lot of time, so just find me on Twitter at the SOCG. Find me on Instagram at the SOCG. Find me on Facebook as a student of the game, Danny Thompson.
Big shout out to our good friends at I-95 Sports, as well as Zingo TV, Facebook Live, and every person that hit the chat up tonight. We appreciate you, everybody. I can't all the list names that have come through tonight. You know, we appreciate the support, the sharing, the liking, the tagging, and also the comments. And I'm disappointed in Rodney tonight with no really actual trolling tonight. No, he trolled like the Panthers passing attack, little to none. Quesadillas, taquitos. Oros con pollo, yes, that's a good one. And churro.
I respect taquitos.
I expect Oros con pollo. I do expect that. Good call on that one. Also, at the same time, check out my work on the 3pointconversion.com. Me and Kyle's work over there. Tomorrow, if you have not paid attention, we have NFL previews going on starting today with the NFC North, and I think it was the North and another division today. The South is tomorrow.
I was knee deep in proctoring school, so
yeah. I think it was the AFC North. Tomorrow, the AFC South will be out with my article out tomorrow. Like I said, throughout the whole weekend, we're going to have the rest of the team's articles out there. So your favorite NFL team. Also, check out my work at SI.com. Charlotte Hornets articles. I just posted one on LaMelo Ball yesterday. James Wiseman. And Anthony Edwards will be coming after the holiday weekend. I got to enjoy we have to enjoy the holiday. It's a great weekend. A big shout out to everybody for staying safe. And also at the same time, I think we're at day number 175, and the killers of Breonna Taylor are still out, and they have not been arrested before Labor Day weekend. We have to keep saying her name, keeping it in our mouths, keeping it in everywhere we need to do, because the killers of Breonna Taylor need to be put in jail. Daniel Cameron, don't enjoy your Labor Day weekend. There's no reason for you to do so. Do your job and do it correctly. So for myself, the student of the game, Mr. Kyle Nash, Bobby Blackcheck up in New Jersey. And guys, we'll catch you guys on Monday. Peace.